Hi everyone, my name is Rootz. I'm a Birmingham-based freelance illustrator, and today we're going to be doing a kawaii draw-along session, putting together all the little different elements to create this fun and fruity illustration. Okay, so before we get started, we want to make sure we've got all of the materials to hand so we can start putting together all of our lines and shapes to create this really fun kawaii piece. So firstly, we need to make sure we've got our paper, pencil, a pen and marker, felt tip, just something you can make marks with and lines, and a rubber. So to create this kawaii piece, you should have this reference sheet with all of the individual characters which we're going to slowly build and piece together to create this uniform piece. And then on the back of that handout there'll be all of these other little elements which we'll start putting together, which will really finish and complete the drawing. So now we've got all our materials ready, we've got our reference images, we're going to get cracking. So if you keep your kawaii reference sheet to hand, we're going to start sketching out some simple shapes so that we can create a fun kawaii piece. So it usually helps to start by putting just a cross in the middle of the page, just really lightly, so you can kind of see where the centre is. And we will start by putting the banana character in on the top right. So as you can see, it's kind of like a moon shape. So we're gonna go in on the top left, top right even, and put in a curve, just this curve shape. Like so. We're then gonna put an apple kind of centre left. So we're just going through the cross section, overlapping the banana. We're going to draw a circular shape. Then we're going to draw the carrot character, which is going to be bottom left. So we're going to draw like a triangular shape, but it's going to be curved along the top, and then we're going to bring the lines down, just meeting there. So you've got something like that. Then we're going to put in the orange character, so that's going to be in this section here. And don't worry about all of the lines that are starting to kind of meet and overlap, because there's going to be certain characters in the front and certain characters in the background. So eventually when you put all the line pieces in and the line work and you start thickening bits up, it will really start to make sense. So it's going to be like a half circle with a very straight edge. So we'll overlap the banana and the apple, and ever so slightly over the character as well. And then we're going to bring it down. So at the moment it's all looking very abstract, but I promise you it will slowly start to come together. Then we're going to put the peas in a pod character. So you can see it almost looks like an eye shape on the inside. So we're going to draw that first. And we're going to do it so it overlaps the carrot, and it's going to come over the top of the orange ever so slightly. And it's going to be quite a wide stretched eye shape, like so. So now we're going to go in and we're going to start adding more shapes, more detail, and it will slowly start to build up. So the next part we're going to put in is the peas. So if you figure out the centre line of the shape that you just made, and then the first pea will be straight in the centre like that. And you don't have to fit 3 in the way I have. If you want to put 1 or 2 or 4 or 5, you can do as many as you like. It's totally up to you. And then we're going to do the other peas either side. And because they're tucked in the pod, they won't be perfectly circular now, these parts. It'll be more of a suggestion, like so. Then we're going to put in these curved elements that will kind of make it start to have the bulky pea shape. And then it'll come to a tip where they meet. And then we'll do the same on the other side, just leaving a slight gap, so it's not going to come and touch the line that we've created that's the eye shape. Like so. And then we're going to start putting in the leaf detail. And you can do that either side. You can do it on the right hand side or the left hand side. So on the left hand side, we're just going to draw 2 leaves. So you should see on the reference sheet on the other side, I've shown you a few ways to draw leaves. But if you've got your own style, go for it. It's adding all of these little elements that start to make it really come to life. And then we'll give it a little squiggle, which is where it would hold on the vine. And then we'll put some little features in. So the one in the middle, you can see is very smiley. So we're just going to draw 2 little curve shapes. And then just give him a little tiny grin. Then we're going to give the chap on the right some big eyes. And then we're going to give him a little happy open mouth. And then he's going to have a tiny little tongue. So the way I do that is like a stretched out M, or like when you're drawing birds in the distance. And it's just a really effective and simple way of just drawing a mouth. And then the left pea, we're going to do him with 1 open eye and 1 winky eye. So we'll just draw another circle. And then we'll draw like a V on its side. And then we'll give him a little smile and a tongue hanging out. And that is basically the pea character there. So on the leaves, we're just going to put a line through the centre of each one. And we're just going to do a few lines on either side. And you can do as many or as little as you want. And there you go. There's our little pea dude. So next we're gonna focus on the character, character. So we will start by putting the leaves in. So basically 3 of what we've done here for the pea. So we'll do 1 in the centre that's going to be like straight up and proud, and then we'll do 2 more either side, and it's up to you how big or small you want to do them. And then we'll do the same again, putting the lines through the centre of each leaf and putting the lines. So next what we're going to do is we're going to put in the features. So we've got his 2 eyes and his little mouth. And again, like this pea, this carrot is winking. So on the left hand eye, we're going to do a nice big round eye. And then it's going to have a little mouth. And then we're going to have another wink. So like we did with the V, but we'll add another kind of line coming out of it, so it's got 3 this time, like so. Then I know we can see the line of the orange here, but just ignore that because this carrot is kind of nestled nicely in between the orange and the peas. So we're just going to draw a few lines, because carrots aren't perfectly smooth, they've got like little ridges, and we're just going to do a few lines, like you can see, going all the way, just leaving a bit of space, like so. And then this carrot, he's got a few bite marks taken out of him, so we're going to pick a spot anywhere on the carrot. So I'm going to do it around here because there's quite a lot going on in this space now. So if I do them here, so I'm going to basically draw a 3 with another curve. So you see, like that, 3, and then just add another one. And that's going to look like someone's had a little nibble on the side of him. And then we're just going to draw another line inside that 3. And that will just give the impression of depth, like that. So now we've got peas, carrots, and we're going to move on to this really smiley little orange character. So this is obviously a segment of orange. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw this line here. So we're basically going to draw like a half moon. We're going to draw within the half moon, like so. And you can see that's where the skin of the orange is, and then this part is the juicy sweet inside. So then we're going to draw just a faint centre line like we did with the peas, just so that we can make sure that we get the eyes nice and neatly either side of the line. So we're going to draw 2 circles just like that. And then we're going to give him a little smiley mouth in the centre. And then we're going to give him some little cheeks that are kind of going to cut into the eyes like that. So if you draw like a stretched out N or like a hill shape, and that makes it look like he's got really happy little cheeks. And then we're going to draw these pips. So we're just going to do a few tear shapes. And you can do as many or as little as you want. And I've done them quite neatly, but in real oranges, you know, they're quite scattered. So it's up to you. You can do them nice and neat, or you can do them a bit more random. Like that. And then we're going to just put a few lines and dots in. And you can see this part of the orange is overlapping the carrot. So this part of the orange is actually in the foreground. So we're just going to do a few lines like that. And don't worry if you're not too happy with them, because we can neaten anything that kind of goes over the lines, or if it's a bit wiggly or you think, oh, that doesn't look quite right, we can fix that up as we go along. And then we're just going to add a nice little drop of juice coming at the end like that, like a big teardrop. So the next character we're going to do is the apple, and he's a very happy guy. So again, we're going to find the centre point of the apple and just do a line going all the way down, and then we'll do one going across. So we've kind of got this cross shape or a T. And now we know that we can put the eyes either side and the mouth in the middle. But before we do that, we're going to put in his little stalk and his leaf. So we're going to, where we've got this centre point, we're going to go in ever so slightly and kind of create like a fancy V. Because apples aren't perfectly circle, so we're just going to follow that around. And the apple is going to be in front of the banana, so this apple line will continue until we get to this straight edge of the orange here. So we'll just follow this all the way along and stop there. And then we'll do the same again until we get to this part here of the carrot. So then we're going to put the stalk in. And you can do it any way you want. You can do it straight, you can do it curly or spirally. But I quite like to make mine look like almost like a straw. So we're just going to go a few millimetres down from the little dip that we've got here. And just draw a couple of lines, and then I'm going to go out to the right and then follow, and it's going to widen out ever so slightly at the edge, and then give him, meet it up like that. And then we're just going to put in a nice leaf like that, like the ones that we've done before. The line in the middle, and then we draw the veins like so. And the beauty is, because we're doing all of this with pencil, you can just neaten things up later, and once it's all rubbed out, it will totally transform the piece. So then we're just going to do almost like a cross, and that's kind of where the stalk is coming out of the apple. And And then we're going to give him some eyes. So for these eyes, they're going to be, instead of the big round ones that we've been doing, they're going to be quite oval, like that. And don't worry if they're not absolutely perfect in shape and size and they match, because actually it's the asymmetry and the unevenness that really adds that character. So then next we're going to draw the mouth. So if we start up probably almost halfway to the eyes, and we're just going to bring it down and up like that. So it's a bit of a wobbly line, and then we're going to bring it down and bring it all the way back up again. And then we're going to do the same that we did with the pea's mouth here. So we're going to draw that stretched out M for the tongue. And then we're going to give him some little tonsils like that. So we're going to draw like a big curvy M now, like so. And then in the eye, in this top section here, we're just going to draw a circle going through. And then when it comes to colouring in the pupils, you'll understand why we've done that. So then we just need to put a few lines in the stalk, just giving it that texture. And we'll give it a little shimmer spot here. So just draw like an oval again, and then a circle. So it kind of looks like an exclamation mark. And then when you colour this in, when you colour it in your own time, if you leave that part there white, it'll look like a shiny spot on it. So finally, we're going to draw this cheeky little banana here. So we're going to start by putting in the eyes. So if we just put a line, just so we know where to keep the eyes. And this left eye is going to be overlapping ever so slightly, this line here. So you'll draw a big circle and then leave a tiny gap and then do the same. And then we're going to do a little smiley mouth, and a little tongue poking out like that. And like we did with the oranges, the way we drew that little cut into the eyes to make it look like his cheeks are popping up and he's really happy, we're going to do the same there. So then next up, we're going to put the skin on the banana. So we're going to draw like a V shape. So we'll start from here, either side. And we're basically just going to draw a V that's going to meet up. Line's going to bend down like that. And we're just going to meet it up the other side. And then we're going to link it up with like a triangle kind of shape. Like so. Just like that. So we've mirrored it. And that's basically where the skin's peeled down. And then we're going to do a line that kind of goes all the way down. And we'll put another line in that way. And then we'll do, it's going to be like a thinner line running up through the banana. And then we're going to put some eyebrows. And if you have your own way of drawing eyebrows or eyes or pupils, this is a great opportunity to kind of add your own personality into it. So as you can see, we've basically got a really loose sketch now for the kawaii piece. So the next things we're going to do is we're going to ink and line work all of everything we've done here, and then we're going to rub it back, and then we'll add in the last few elements which will really put the piece and just compose it together. So grab your pen. I'm using this brush pen, which means that I can get different weights out of it. But a felt tip, a marker, anything you've got to hand is absolutely perfect. So we're basically just going to start putting in all the pen lines. I tend to naturally start right to left because I'm left-handed, and I tend to smudge things otherwise. So if you're more comfortable going left to right, top to bottom, bottom to top, whatever makes you happy. So yeah, I'm going to start top right, and I'm just going to put the eyes in. So we're just going to follow the lines, and then when we get to this little cheek part, we're going to make sure we leave that out. And there's the cheek like that. So we'll do the same with the other eye. And then we'll put in his mouth. And then we're basically just going to follow the line all the way around until we get to where the banana skin folds over. Going all the way around, like so. Now we're going to put the V in, and we're going to make the line pass ever so slightly past the banana skin. And then we'll put in the triangle parts. Almost looks like he's got a big fancy collar. And then we'll follow the rest of the banana skin. Now the banana is the furthest character in the background, so actually we only need to go up to the straight edge of the orange and to the curved edge of the apple. So there's not a lot to do there. And then we'll just follow the lines down where we put them in for the detail of the skin. Like so. And we'll put his eyebrows in. Now for the eyes, especially with kawaii eyes as well, they tend to be really big and bright. So what we're going to do is we're going to put in like a shimmery spot, like a reflection, almost like we did with the apple here, with this kind of exclamation looking mark. So if you have your own way of adding like a shine or a shimmer, please feel free to go and do that. But I usually put in like a jelly bean like shape with 2 circles. And do the same. So it looks like there's a light source coming in from this direction, and it's just hitting on the eyes and it's making it shimmer. So then everything else, apart from this jelly bean and the 2 dots, will colour in black. So you can see it's really made it look like he's got a really shiny light source. We'll do the same with the other eye. And we'll fill in those eyebrows. There you go, that's basically the banana character done. So next we'll do the apple character. Again, starting with the eyes. So where we've put these two circles, we're going to basically use that as like another shimmer source, but it's done in a different way. So we're going to follow the line and then follow that kind of C, and then ignore the part that goes outside the line. Like that. And then when you colour it in, it gives you the same effect of there being like a light source. And we'll do the same again with the other eye. And this is where, like, I've done this eye that's slightly shorter, so I can just bring my line down, and so it's in this inking progress where you can just start to neaten up lines if need be. So then we'll do the mouth, and we're just going to follow the line all the way around. And then where we've done the tongue, we're going to follow the line again, but we're going to extend it ever so slightly, and then just meet it like that. And then we'll do the tonsils. The tonsils will leave white, so the inside of the mouth will colour black. So next we'll put the stalk line in. So we're just going to follow all the way. Put the cross in. And then we'll do the leaf. And you don't just have to put one leaf in as well if you feel like doing 2 or 3. It's all of these little elements that kind of just start to make it really come to life. And then we'll add the lines on the stalk, like so. So then next what we're going to do is we're going to follow the line of the apple, so all the way around, where it basically meets the straight line of the orange and it comes into join with the carrot leaf. So we're just going to follow this line like that. And then we'll just go around the line here where we've put in this shimmer spot. So next up, we're going to complete the orange character, the orange slice. So again, starting with the eyes, we'll just follow the line and make sure that we leave this cheek line here. And then when we're rubbing out, all of these little pencil lines that are showing will disappear. And again, like we did with the banana, we're going to add those little shine spots. So we'll draw like a jelly bean shape and then add 2 circles. Jelly bean, 2 circles. And then we'll fill those in black. So next what we're going to do is we're going to follow this line all the way. Now because this is in the foreground, it's in the front, we're going to be doing the whole outline for this. So we're just going to follow the really straight edge all the way. And don't worry if we get bits overlapping from the other fruits, because we can thicken lines up afterwards, it's not a problem. So then we're going to follow this curve. And then we'll follow the inside curve as well. So you can see it's really starting to come to life now. So then we're going to just outline and fill the seeds. If you were using colour, you could colour these in brown or a deep red or burgundy. And then we'll just start to put in the little lines for detail. You could also do dots or anything really. If you wanted to really experiment, you could really go to town with like diamonds and stars, just to really make it look that bit different. So we're just going through, we're just adding lines. They can go top to bottom, some can kind of stop in the middle. And then we'll add in that drip at the bottom. So next up we've got the character, a little carrot guy. So we're going to follow the line. And because he's behind the orange and the peas, we don't have to worry about doing the line all the way through. So we'll just follow along. And then missing out this part here because the peas are going to be in the foreground. And then where we added those thicker lines, we're just going to do those black and just fill those in black. Just like that. Then we're going to do the eyes. So we'll do his little winky eye. So it's kind of like a V with an extra line in it. And then we'll do a big round eye in his mouth. Straight in the middle. And then again, we'll do the same with the shimmer. Then we'll put the leaves in. Just follow the lines all the way around. And then we'll do that centre line. And then we'll add in the veins of the leaves. There we go. So we're just going to put in the ridges of the carrot now. And we'll do those as just slightly finer lines. So if you can draw it ever so thinner. But don't worry too much if you can't. Like so. Then last up, we've got the peas. So what we're going to do is we're just going to follow this eye shape first, all the way around. And we're going to overlap ever so slightly. Then we'll draw the pea in the middle. And the pea on the right. And the pea on the left. Then we're going to put in all the little eyes and the little features. So I'm going right to left. So I'm just going to follow the circle all the way around. And again, putting in a little shimmer in the eye. Because mine's kind of overlapping here, it won't be the whole jelly bean circle combo. And this one's got a little open mouth. And his tongue. And this one's nice and simple, so we've just got 3 curves. It's amazing what kind of effects you can make with just a few shapes. So it's really fun, especially with features and facial expressions. And then the little tongue. Put the shine in the eye. So now what we're going to do is we're going to follow this curved repetition all the way around, and that's going to really make it look like it's like 3 little peas just really happily enclosed. So we'll start with the middle, and like we did with these edges, they're just going to come out ever so slightly further. So the connector line is going to be slightly higher. So you've just got this tiny little overlap. Then we'll do the same. And then we'll put the leaves in. And then don't forget the little squiggly line. So as you can see, we've got all the main lines in now, and it's starting to look really, really good. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to have a look and see what's missing. Is there any things that we haven't added? So there's quite a lot of dots, and we've got to put in the little blush marks on the cheeks. So if you were using colour, these little lines here that we're going to do on the cheeks, you could do those in pink or red. So we'll start with the orange, and we're just going to put in a few diagonal lines, 3 or 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do the same with the apple. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And you can do all or a few of the characters. It just really adds that cute little element. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's put a few dots. So we're going to put some dots on the skin of the banana and the orange. And you can do as many or as few as you like. And just go around, just randomly, just put some dots all over the skin. Because orange skin has got lots of tiny little dots all over it. Like that. And then we'll do the same again for the banana. Especially when a banana gets ripe, it gets really patchy and gets lots of dots on it. So you can do as many or as little as you want. And you can see just by adding all these different shapes, it just immediately gives you loads of texture. And then the characters that have got the mouth open, we're just going to put a tiny line underneath. Like that. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put the pens down and we're going to rub out all the pencil line. So first things first, make sure that all of the pen marks are dry, because if you start rubbing out when it's too wet, it will smudge. So I think all mine's quite dry, so we're just going to rub out all of the line work. So the next bit's what we're going to do is we're just going to add thicker lines here and there, which are just going to really kind of give you the impression of like overlapping and shadow. We don't have to do too many, but we'll just do a few. So where we've got this fold here with the banana, we're just going to thicken up this line here underneath. And we'll do it on the other side as well. And we'll just, where we kind of have lines that are connecting, if you thicken them up, it just immediately makes an impact. So again, things that are kind of overlapping each other, if we just add in those thicker lines, it starts to build up an illusion of depth. And we'll do the same with the carrot. So with the carrot, we've got these leaves that are kind of overlapping. So if we just choose one side and just thicken up that line, just going around the one side. So it just looks like we've got all this depth and shadow going around. So really starting to make certain parts look like they're in the foreground. And this is a really fun kind of way to experiment as well and kind of just come up with your own techniques. So you can see where the banana is behind this apple. We'll do another thicker line just there. Then we've got the leaves of the pea and we'll do the same. So anything that's kind of overlapping, just give it a thicker line. And it doesn't have to be all the way around as well. Just adding little bits here and there really make a difference. And so the peas, because they're being kind of covered and overlapped by the outside of the pod, we'll do a thicker line just around the peas as well. And then where we've got the stalk, we'll thicken up this bottom line here. Also allows me to fix up any kind of little overlapping and messy lines. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to look at these element references that we've got, and we're going to use them to just kind of really complete the overall look. So we're going to add a rainbow and some clouds and some leaves. And clouds are a really great way to just kind of fill a space without making it look too cluttered. So we'll grab our pencils and we're basically just going to draw a really simple rainbow that's just going to really nicely fill this section. So I've kind of put in a suggestion here, but if you've got your own kind of technique. So I'm going to start with the smaller part of the rainbow. And again, don't worry if you overlap lines because we're going to rub it all out like we did before. So I'm just going to do 5 of these, getting bigger and bigger. And honestly, do not worry if it's a little bit wonky, because it really does just help add character. Like that. And then we're going to add some clouds. Just go in here like that. But this is a really fun way to experiment with shapes. You could do stars, you could do polka dots, there's all sorts of things you can do. Then we're going to add another cloud here. And then we're going to add some leaves here. So I'm going to do them with 3. So we've got our nice leaf shape, 1, and they're going to go from big to small, 2, 3. And then we'll put in our lines. And it just immediately makes everything really pop. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put in those pen lines, and we're just going to follow along everything that we've done. So we'll start with the clouds here. And then we'll do the rainbow. And then we'll do the cloud. And then finally we'll do the leaves. And it just immediately makes a huge difference. So there's just a few more steps and we'll be done. So the next thing we're going to do is, because we still want all the fruit to be the main focus, we're going to give everything on the outside of the lines a double line. So we'll start with the banana and we're just going to thicken everything up. So we're just going to make it look that little bit thicker, but we're not going to go along the inside lines. We're literally just going to follow all the way around the outside. And this is just going to make everything just stand out so that the elements that we've just done kind of fall into the background. And we'll go all the way around the peas. Don't forget, it's just the outside we're doing. And if you're using coloured pens, you could use a different coloured pen when you're doing this to really make it stand out. And then we've just got to the carrot, so we're just going to do the carrot outline. So we ignore these leaves and we'll do that double line. Going all the way around. And then where the leaf meets with the apple, we'll go all the way around. And you can see it just immediately makes everything just stand out that little bit more. So we're just going to have a look now and just see if there's anything else we can add to just add that little bit more interest. So I always like to add moving lines. So it just immediately makes things feel like there's that bit more energy. So just by adding a couple of lines like that, you can just make it look like everything's just moving. You don't have to overdo it. You can just add a few here and there. And then maybe add a few more dots on the leaves. You can see it really starts to make a difference. So I'd say we're almost there. So the last thing to do is just literally rub out the pencil lines for these extra elements that we've done. So again, making sure that the page is dry. And there we go. We've got this fun and cute kawaii fruit and veg characters, all done with using just a few simple shapes and a handful of materials. You should definitely try and experiment and use the reference sheets and try and create your own compositions and maybe add your own different assisting elements. You know, stars, smiley faces, diamonds, there's all sorts of things you can do. I hope you enjoyed the session. I'd love to see what you guys come up with.